Want great business banking features like advanced payment processing? Whitney Bankers can help you find the right solutions for your business. Stop by one of Whitney's nearly 200 locations across the Gulf South or visit HancockWhitney.com. Member FDIC.
Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker. Established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com, and by Business First Bank, with locations throughout the state, including 11 offices in the Baton Rouge area, providing personal and commercial banking, treasury management, and wealth solution services to help clients succeed. Business First Bank, banking with greater momentum.
From Mansurs on the Boulevard in Baton Rouge, we're out to lunch with editor of the Baton Rouge Business Report, Stephanie Regal. It's business Baton Rouge style.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Regal. Welcome to Out to Lunch. Technology touches all aspects of our lives and has created opportunities for businesses both new and old. How do you make a go of it in this digital landscape? Well, some companies have had to reinvent themselves, and others, well, they just invented an app. Patricia Brignac Talbot's business would belong in the former category. When her dad started the business, then called Baton Rouge Duplicating Products back in 1955, carbon paper was one of the high-demand products, and mimeograph machines that made wet, smelly copies were considered cutting edge. Today, Patricia has transformed the company and changed its name to Baton Rouge Digital Products to reflect its new focus on digital duplication, which includes scanning and archiving, often remotely. Patricia, it must be so interesting to see how much things have changed, and we look forward to hearing your story. So thanks for being here today on Out to Lunch.
Thank you for having me.
Laney King is one who has invented something new. She and her husband Ryan are the creators of a smartphone app that helps South Louisianians, okay, get this, find the best and cheapest crawfish. It's called the Crawfish App, and it features live and boiled crawfish prices from more than 1,000 vendors across the Gulf South, from Texas all the way to Atlanta. The app launched early this year, right before the kickoff of crawfish season, and it quickly grew to 50,000 users. It's the kind of thing you'd find only in Louisiana, and it's apparently a really great, successful idea. So, Laney, welcome to Out to Lunch.
Thank you. Thanks so much
So
for
much
having
fun.
me.
All right, well, Patricia, I'll start with you. You grew up working in your dad's store. You would go there after school. I remember working in my dad's office right before the dawn of the digital age, and it's so amazing how much things have changed. What are your memories of those early days?
Yes, I go after school, and we sold to printers, and that's kind of how duplicating products came about. We sold to presses, and I would go and dust the cans of ink, so when a printer came in to buy the ink or the big masters and so forth, they were clean. So that was really, I guess, the trust he had in me in dusting the cans of ink.
Glamorous work. And then you didn't grow up aspiring to run the company.
In fact, I was completely against it.
Okay.
I went into a major in psychology at LSU, and about my third year into it, my father said, please start taking business classes. So I switched to general studies and took a lot of psychology, which I still love and can be used, on a daily basis,
Certainly.
especially with people. And took a lot of sales. In fact, one of my sales classes that I remember was with Jenny that has the varsity sports.
Oh, that's great.
She taught sales. So took a lot of management, just accounting classes, and that helped a little bit, but got my degree, and here I am. I started as an administrator, and I had a goal that I was going to be president and own the company by the time I was 40, and my brother was also in the business along with my mother. And right before I turned 40, my brother said, I want out. So I became president, bought the business, and I'm the sole owner now.
Now, when did you decide to reinvent it and change the name?
Always. We were always looking for ways to be better. But as technology changes, people remember typewriters. We used to sell typewriters by the pallets. The first fax machine.
Sure.
We sold a fax machine that took 12 minutes to send a fax. And then it became multifunction devices that you can print, scan, copy, fax all in one. So we moved into that era, being in IT. So always looking. I never liked Baton Rouge Duplicating Products, and we changed it to Baton Rouge Digital Products. So with that, it was always just trying to find a good name. That digital now, when people hear it, they're not thinking we're a printer. They're thinking we actually have the digital products now. So it's helped tremendously. Very excited about it.
Excellent. Well, Laney, you're using technology in a totally different way. This idea came to you and your husband Ryan several years ago after you got tired of spending hours calling around crawfish spots in the city trying to find the best deal for your weekend boils. So y'all said, we'll develop an app?
Yes. And the story really was that simple. Ryan and I, we have entrepreneurial mindsets, and we were constantly coming up with all these ideas, businesses that we could start. And one time we were riding around in the car, and Ryan was calling around trying to find the cheapest crawfish. And he said, I cannot believe there's not an app for this in Louisiana. That's ridiculous. And
he's
so
a millennial, right?
Right.
Because that would be my first thought.
Right.
But that's really great.
We are.
That's what keeps the world going and innovation.
Right. And so a couple days later, he said, I think you and I should create a crawfish app. Well, we don't have any coding or developing experience. I was in sales and marketing, and he was an engineer. But I looked at it from a business standpoint, and he was able to use his technical background and kind of create a flow chart of how it could work. And at the time, we didn't have any kids. We had a lot of free time on our hands, and we would sit and talk about it, many times right after work. And we finally came up with
And
that.
so you hired someone to code it for you?
Of course, yes. So Ryan, using his engineering mind, he was able to put it on paper of what we wanted it to look like. Aesthetically, I kind of came in and said how it should flow, but we don't have design skills really. So we hired first a designer who was able to take our idea and create it into digital art for us.
Okay.
And once she did that and really brought it to life, we were sold. We were so excited. And that's when we went on the search for a developer who could actually code and create the app for us.
So how much did this cost? Was it expensive?
Well, it should have been.
Yeah.
Yes, it should have been. We were very lucky. After about a year and a half, we actually got in touch with one of Ryan's cousins, his first cousin, who he just doesn't see often. He lives in Dallas. And we found out that he was an app consultant, and he was actually developing an app for American Airlines. And we said, hey, we have an idea for you if you want a little moonlighting work. And he said, sure, I'd love to do it. And he gave us a very good family
That's fantastic.
rate.
And so you launched it early this year. How did you spread the word so quickly to get 50,000 people within a matter of just months?
Yeah, we at first, of course, just did the typical, social media posts. And it got a lot of shares, and we were excited. But I knew that we had a relevant, interesting story to tell. So we sent out press releases to every single media outlet that we possibly could, tried to get contacts, and it got picked up. And that's really how it happened.
And people
it was
really
all
were
thanks
receptive
to the
to
media.
it, though. I mean,
Yes.
people who use apps and eat crawfish.
Yes,
wanted
it's
this.
free. Why not? Why not at least download it and check it out? And then from there, we got feedback, good and bad. Everybody has their opinion. But people were very excited to download it and at least check it out.
And then how do you get the data, the vendors to, provide you with their pricing information?
Sure. So anyone can submit a vendor through the app. The vendors don't have to submit themselves. If you don't see your favorite vendor on the app, you just submit it through the app. It's super simple. So that's how we got so many vendors. We're up to over 1,000 now. And we, believe it or not, have a team that calls every single vendor every single Thursday. Originally, that's the only way that we were getting the information. I know it sounds funny, but it's what we had to do. Now we actually have portals, individual websites set up for the vendors to go in and update their own prices. So some
That's
of them
nice.
choose to do that. Some of them still choose to text in their prices or something, but we only have to call about half of the vendors now.
And so then how do you make money with this?
That's the big question. It's free to download. It's free to be on the app.
And
We just when we created this revenue model, we could have charged for the app to download it.
Sure.
We could have charged the vendors to be on it. To us, what we realized is that if we could get thousands of people on this platform who wanted to buy crawfish tomorrow, how valuable would that be to Zatarain's?
advertisers.
To Louisiana
yeah.
Fish Fry, to advertisers like that, to have all of these to have all these users in the palm of their hand. So we decided we're going to approach the sponsorship and advertisers.
And that's the stage you're in now.
Correct.
Very good. Well, Patricia, tell me about your financial model. I mean, who is the competition for Baton Rouge Digital Products?
In a sense, we're our own competition, but our market's so saturated that You have an Office Depot that will sell a multifunction product, and you have Xerox, probably on the other end, that will sell it. So there's so many dealers just in Baton Rouge and then in Louisiana that are competitors, that represent Canon, Xerox, Lanier,
Wow.
Ricoh, Minolta, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, which we sell Sharp. I mean, there's probably 11 different brands. HP now, Lexmark.
So are you a licensed dealer for certain
We are a licensed
products?
dealer for Kyocera. We've sold Xerox before. We've had Sharp line. We've had the Lanier line, which is Ricoh. And whoever, we like the manufacturer to kind of be the same culture and values that we have. We're not an aggressive go out, you have to buy from me type.
Right.
We're all about relationships, taken care of. Here's my cell. I've gone to the office on Sundays or brought customers toner or paper on a weekend. It's just we're a small business.
So that's the niche.
That's
It's
our
the-
niche.
It's the service and the
Yes.
personal touch.
And I'm the only one that's a woman business owner in our industry.
Really?
So also my niche is selling to other women business owners.
Okay. Who are most of your clients?
We have a range. We have a CPA that works out of his home to a very large CPA attorney firms and large telecommunication companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, wanting to probably put their names out there, but we have a very large bid in for a hospital here in town.
Wow.
So we can, again, it's back to people buy from who they know,
Right.
and we're relationship based. Being in the social media, platform where you don't have that personal communication of sitting right here. We're doing a lot of advertising in social media, and we have apps that you can print directly from your phone. If you receive an email and it's a PDF, I can find that copier in my office and print to it. So we're getting into that, so we lose some of that personal connection to our customers, but
I suppose you
the
have
age
to.
we live in is all apps. I mean, I'm an app guru. I have probably 8 pages of apps.
Do you really?
So it's just where we are now, and people are living in the fast world.
Right. You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Stephanie Riegel. We're talking to Patricia Brignac Talbot of Baton Rouge Digital Products and Laney King of the Crawfish App. Laney, who are most of your customers? Do you all know? I mean, do you have a profile for the app user, or age, demographics, anything?
We really don't, not at this time. All that we know is that we have a geography kind of, anywhere from Houston, San Antonio, Texas, all the way to around Georgia. We know that the majority of our users are from Louisiana. But otherwise, we don't have really specific data. We know that they love crawfish.
At this point, how are you marketing the app?
At this point, 2017 was really our beta testing phase, is what we called it. And we did not see any revenue this year. We have had to, constantly spend money to maintain the app and to improve the app and upgrade it. And then, of course, pay our callers every Thursday who call all of these vendors.
They're
So
not
we did not-
volunteering for you. They don't have a...
At first they were, and then it got to the point where it was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Y'all are too kind. We're going to start paying you. So what I'm trying to say is that we did not have a big marketing budget this year. But
Yeah.
next year, we definitely have a budget, and we're going to be doing that through television advertising and social media advertising.
How are y'all financing this venture?
It's all self-financed. That was important to us. We didn't want to have to ask friends or family or investors to help us out. And that's why it was important to find a developer who could give us such a great rate. So we did it all ourselves.
So is this a full-time gig? Or is
It's
this,
not.
You
No,
have a day
I
job.
have a full-time job, and Ryan is graduating from LSU Law School tomorrow.
Come
Praise
on.
the Lord. So we have 2 young kids. I mean, we have our hands full for sure. But, right now what's best for my family is that, I work really hard, and he's going to start working for a law firm in September.
Well, that's good.
So that's
Because
good.
it sounds like we need some income to
Right?
support this. This is a great idea. We just have to figure out how to
Thank
monetize it.
Right. And that's coming. We have some great things in the works. And, we're
And
really
advertisers
excited.
have been receptive.
Oh, yes. They've actually reached out to us, which I did not see. I had this huge game plan about, how I was going to sell it. And I actually am in sales for a living, so I was really looking forward to it. But it was really nice when they started to call us.
Yeah,
So we've had some meetings, and it's looking great.
no question. And can you adapt this app for another use, perhaps? Like when it's not
That's a big question. The biggest question we get is, are you going to do crabs and oysters and shrimp and make a big seafood app? And right now, the process is just not streamlined enough. No one gets as excited about crabs or oysters as they do about crawfish. It's just a fact. And so, we got the momentum this year with crawfish, but I think we're actually just going to take the next 6 months off and, improve the app and get some sponsors on board and come back strong in 2018, and we might consider doing something in 2018.
Yeah. Patricia, what kind of growth have y'all had since you took over and rebranded?
It's been a good, steady growth. When, you get a new president or healthcare goes up, people kind of stop. But we have so many different types of companies and different industries that we have seasons, like for CPAs, for schools. Lawyers kind of do, depending if there's a case, we may rent something out. But ours has been a good, steady growth. We have less employees and we're doing more, which what we kind of had to do, that was part of our business plan, because it's hard to, being a small business, it's hard to go up on your prices.
Sure.
Because health insurance are up, sales tax went up. It doesn't, I feel as a small business owner, we don't get as many breaks as we used to in having a business. It's a little more of a challenge. We have all the equipment, all the office technology for an office. So we sell the scanners, we sell the printers, we sell the copiers.
Gotcha.
We have had customers that need us to scan. We do it, but that's not the bulk of our business. We sell the actual equipment, service it, have the supplies, so forth. So we have wide format plotters, laser
but you all
printers.
don't provide like the hosting services.
And that's kind of where
store the data in the cloud for them or anything like that.
But we have IT department that when we do install the equipment, our IT guys can go out there and work with theirs, or if they don't have one, we connect it to their network so they can scan the cloud and just give them ideas of, people don't know you can scan to email. We're going, you can scan. Instead of faxing long distance, scan it, you have that document in your email and you're not being charged for it.
What's coming in technology that we don't see yet?
3D, it's been around. I think it's going to get bigger. I think it's going to be better, just like anything, when faxes came. But people have talked about paperless society, I think, since the 1980s. We're not. You need paper. People like to touch it. And people like to write on it and have their thoughts. And I scan a lot to Evernote. I think now being more on the cloud is big, and not only cloud, but not having a server in your office, storing it, trusting the cloud that you can back up to there and keep your information and keep your pictures and your documents. And I use Evernote. I have several apps that I can be able to go to and get my information because it's there.
Right. Well, ladies, let's take a break from business for just a minute, and I'll ask y'all sort of a fun question. If you weren't running Baton Rouge Digital or doing your app and your business, what would be your dream job and why?
I've always had it. I've always wanted a place somewhere in Baton Rouge, somewhere in Louisiana. I always thought maybe St. Francisville, to have a place for children that had cancer to go to. They make a dream.
Yes.
And there was a place to eat crawfish, just to enjoy Louisiana culture, to have seafood, to learn how to water ski, to learn how to fish, play the sports, because Louisiana offers so much, and sometimes we don't even experience it. Like my children learned how to peel a crawfish and eat crabs when they were probably 2-3 years old, and they learned how to fish, so they can be like a man's woman, that they could do it all. But to kind of have that experience instead of going somewhere else and doing that. So that was always mine.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful dream. What about you, Laney?
Wow.
Sorry.
I wish I would have gone first. Mine is not nearly as beautiful as that. My dream, and maybe it's just the place that I'm in my life, it's to do the Crawfish App full time. I'm not kidding. It's to be able to, we love to travel, me and my husband, and now our girls, we're making them love to travel. And just to have a job that we could do from anywhere, that, I wouldn't have to necessarily go to an office every day, or that I could be mobile. And, I have big dreams for the Crawfish App. So right now, that's where I'm at. That would be my dream.
Excellent. Well, you're going to need financing down the line to grow. Have you all approached lenders at all, or pitched this at pitch nights to angels or VC, or are you just not quite there yet?
No, Stephanie, because to be honest, we don't need financing to grow right now.
Okay.
We, with my job and Ryan's future job, we have savings, and with the sponsorship levels that we came in at, and the sponsors didn't really blink an eye. I mean, it's going to produce quite a bit of revenue next year, and our expenses are so low. We have really no overhead. Our only expenses are paying people to call, right, and of course paying the maintenance and the upgrades for the app developer. But otherwise, it's not like a normal infrastructure. Mm-hmm. So our profit will be about 70% on what we take in next year.
Wow.
So we really, we should, with the revenue that we take in next year, we should not need financing.
And obviously, when it's not crawfish season, the app is not producing.
Right. When it's not crawfish season, the app is not producing. The revenue can definitely get us through an entire year, even though it'll be realized within those 6 months. But yeah, at that point, that's where our full-time jobs come in.
What are your margins like, Patricia, in your business? With that kind of big equipment?
Yeah,
and
with the equipment on the product side, very slim to none.
Yeah.
On the service side, they're paying maintenance, they're paying a cost per copy. So as long as that customer's up and running and printing, and we don't have to service it, it's pretty good margin.
Yeah. What is the biggest challenge about doing business here in Baton Rouge? I mean, has this been a good market?
Absolutely. I mean, I was born in Baton Rouge, grew up in Baton Rouge. I went to St. Joseph's, went to LSU. So I think with any business, it's kind of how I knew who you were, through social media or my friends. Baton Rouge is very close-knit, and probably too close-knit for someone that comes from the outside, because it's always, where'd you go to school, or, who you know.
And they
and
mean
so,
high school. They
and
don't
they,
mean
yes,
college.
exactly.
Maybe they mean
And
elementary
so,
school.
Right. And so that's been a benefit to us, because my parents grew up here. And all of, the 5 children did. So they even know my siblings, and it's easier to do business, because people buy from who they know.
Sure.
They're going to support those of who they know.
Now, you said your brother wanted out of the business.
Yes.
Were there other siblings that wanted in?
No, I have 4 older brothers. 3 of them did not want anything to do with the business.
So that's lucky, I suppose. Maybe.
Yes and no. I mean, family business is family business. So, with a mom, dad, brother, and I, there's good times and bad times, but it's the culture. It really doesn't probably matter who. If it's your husband and wife, that it's the same. It's still family business, and I think it kind of comes down to culture, treating people like family, whether it's your customers, whether it's your employees. It's just.
But you enjoy it.
I
You
love
seem
it.
to really enjoy it.
I don't. Copiers is the most boring thing ever. I mean, it is. I've never liked that part. I like when a customer calls, or a potential customer, and say, "Hey, I need, something for my business." We all like to help people, and I think that's why we enjoy it. I could do anything, and as long as I'm helping somebody, I would be fulfilled.
Laney, how has Baton Rouge been as a market for you, as a place to start a business and to try to grow it? Is it a hospitable climate?
Oh yeah, I'm just like Patricia, born and raised here. Went to St. Joseph's, went to LSU. So people are very supportive. They're excited to see. LSU has been very supportive. For alumni to start something like this.
Have they helped you promote it?
They
or
have.
market it
They
through their
have.
alumni websites? And
They
whatnot?
have. They certainly have. We've been on the big LSU Facebook page, which has like 300,000 followers or something. Twice. They created an incredible minute and a half video.
How did y'all
about
get that?
the app. They just reached out to us.
Really?
Just reached out to us. We reached out to the engineering college, and then the MBA program where I graduated from, and then of course LSU Law School, asking, telling them what we were doing, and so perhaps they played a little role in it. But otherwise, just the different areas called us and asked if we were interested in doing that.
That
Of
was
course we
very
said
fortunate.
Yes. Oh yes.
Can the Crawfish App scale? I mean, crawfish are only available in certain parts of the country.
Correct.
How big can you grow?
Correct. It can definitely grow much bigger than it is today, but we're not counting on this ever, making millions. I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe down the road there'll be some sort of opportunity, but there's only so big it can grow, right? It's a South, regional business. So.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? What's the plan? Do you all have plans to expand?
No. What I've
Okay.
learned in being in Vistage and EO, these entrepreneur organizations, whether you're a small business or 500 employees, you have the same problems. So I like to keep it small and focus on those customers that have been with us since the 60s. So no, I would like to have a little more probably free time. I'm very conscious of being balanced and
Yeah.
taking care of myself to be able to take care. I have 2 daughters, but they're in college. So 3 to 5 years, I see me definitely still working, but I would like to maybe pursue some other things.
That's very good.
I have big goals and dreams, but I'm not the type to have like a 5-year exact plan.
Okay.
Right now, I have a vision of 2018, and that's about the only thing I can focus on. In 2018, our goal is to have every single vendor, anyone who sells crawfish in the entire United States, we want to have them, every single one of them on the app. In 2018, we'd love to have, at least double the downloads that we have. There's certainly more people who love crawfish and own a smartphone, so that's who we're after. And then we really just want to partner. We're approaching big sponsors to just really partner with us for the app. They're going to be on so many materials and so many places in the app, it's going to almost look like they own the app. And so we're really looking forward to building that relationship and getting that sponsor on board. And I think we'll have some awesome opportunities in 2018. So that's our focus right now.
Well, good luck. Laney
Thank
King and
you.
Patricia Brignac Talbot, y'all both have wonderful stories and wonderful ideas, and it's exciting to see technology leading the way and helping you reinvent yourselves and inventing apps.
And these St. Joseph's girls and
That's
LSU
right.
girls leading the way.
There you go. Wonderful. A plug for 2 good schools. Well, my guests today on Out to Lunch have been Patricia Brignac Talbot of Baton Rouge Digital Products and Laney King of the Crawfish App. You can find out more about Baton Rouge Digital Products and the Crawfish App by following the links on our website. It's batonrouge.la and wrkf.org. Today's show is recorded live over lunch at Mansurs on the Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Mansurs is open for lunch daily from 11 to 2, for dinner nightly, and for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. The producer of our show is Grant Morris. Our technical producer is Eric Merle. Our associate producer is Peter Raschuti. And our Baton Rouge business consultants are Charlie D'Agostino and Ann Edelman. You can see photos from this show on its batonrouge.la and on our Facebook page. These photos are taken by Ken Stewart. All the music on Out to Lunch is composed and performed by Mitchell Foreman. You can find more of Mitchell's music wherever great jazz is streamed or sold and at mitchellforeman.com. You can get this show as a podcast, you can listen to past shows, and you can keep up with us on all kinds of social media by going to our websites. It's batonrouge.la and wrkf.org. Out to Lunch is a production of INO Broadcasting for It's Baton Rouge.la and WRKF 89.3 FM. I'm Stephanie Riegel. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to meeting you again next week around the table here at Mansurs for more business Baton Rouge style on Out to Lunch.
Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com, and by Business First Bank, with locations throughout the state, including 11 offices in the Baton Rouge area, providing personal and commercial banking, treasury management, and wealth solution services to help clients succeed. Business First Bank, banking with greater momentum.
Want great business banking features like advanced payment processing? Whitney Bankers can help you find the right solutions for your business. Stop by one of Whitney's nearly 200 locations across the Gulf South or visit HancockWhitney.com. Member FDIC.